Okay, welcome to our city council meeting for November the 15th. I'm going to call the meeting to order for the city council for the 15th, November 15th, 2022. And roll call and posting of the agenda.
Councilmember Perrello,
Stay here.
Councilmember Turan,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem McDonald,
Here.
Mayor Zaragoza.
Here.
Announcement, Councilmember Basua and Councilmember Madrigal will be joining the meeting later today. Posting of the agenda. The agenda for this meeting was posted in the City Hall Bulletin Board on November 3rd, 2022.
Thank you. Then item C is this is a statement from the mayor prior to closed session. The city council will recess to a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957A to consult with Sherry Klima, Deputy City Manager, Helen Miller, Chief Information Officer regarding threat to the public services or facilities. The city council will also recess to a closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6 to review the status of labor negotiations and review its available funds and funding priorities for the purpose of providing instructions to the city negotiators regarding the organization of unrepresented positions specified in Section C2 of the meeting of the agenda. Mr. City Attorney, any additional comments on this item?
No, there's not.
Okay, we're going to close session and we'll be back at 5:30 for appointment items. Okay, we're back from a closed session. Mr. City Attorney, can do any announcements on this?
There are, the city council gave direction to the labor negotiators. So, and that's all to report at this time.
Thank you. Our next item is an appointment item. This is a 5:30 item. It's presentation by the Ventura County Animal Services of the new Pets for Life program. And my understanding is we have Jackie Rose, who's a director. Jackie, are you available? Oh, there we are. I thought you were. Welcome, Jackie. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, hi, for the record. My name is Jackie Rose and I am the Director for Ventura County Animal Services. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come in and talk about this program. We are thrilled to let you know that we, being Ventura County Animal Services, have secured grant funding through a collaborative model with the Humane Society of the United States and funding coming from the Ventura County Community Foundation to bring a national model here to our area. Specifically, this model is going to be rolled out here in the city of Oxnard. The Pets for Life program, and actually, I'm going to stop for a second if you don't mind. I don't think we're on the right page. We can start at the beginning. There we go.
Okay.
Because I want you all to see the happy puppy smiling at you. Right? If we could go to the next page now. Thank you so much. So the Pets for Life Grant Award, a little bit of information about it. As I said, we've partnered with the Humane Society and Ventura County Community Foundation. The Humane Society of the United States has a model that they, and I'll talk a little bit more about it, but they rolled this model out in 2010. And it's really based on how to provide veterinary care and support services to people living in the community for their pets who have limited resources. And so when we started looking at this project, we completed a really comprehensive assessment by doing a full GIS mapping of the areas here in Ventura County where we saw the greatest need. And lo and behold, the city of Oxnard became our number 1 targeted area.
Oh, good.
And so we applied for this award, this grant, and we were awarded the funding. We were awarded approximately $250,000 a year for a 3-year project. And I will tell you, there is a commitment, a verbal commitment to continue that funding for another 2 to 3 years.
So
based
Jackie,
on
that's
success.
3 times 250.
That's 3 times 250.
Oh, great. Great.
Specifically for Oxnard. And specifically for targeted areas in Oxnard.
Thank you.
With that, it's going to pay for 1 full-time position as our Pets for Life coordinator, along with the services we will provide. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. If we can go to the next page. And please feel free to jump in and ask me questions as we go along. Because I'm so excited. I'll just keep talking about this. And so this model is really based on a social justice model. And we wanted to look at where are the areas that have the greatest need. And as we did the GIS mapping, we looked at various components of indicators, everything including those animals that come into our shelter, those animals that if you will, are adopted from our shelter, those animals that come in through the Oxnard PD field services. We looked at all of those indicators. And the primary areas that we found were pretty high target areas. And the things that we'll be looking at will be veterinary care, pet food, and pet supplies. Again, the model is really intended to help pet owners retain their animals in their home. These are not people coming to our shelter in need of services. This is a grassroots shoe leather social work model where we will be going out, knocking on doors and saying, do you have a pet? And how can we help you? It really is about recognizing the importance of the human-animal bond and how important pets are to family members and helping them be as successful as they can to retain those animals and provide the best care to them as family members. So this HSUS model started with HSUS in 2010, implementing this model in Philadelphia. And then in 2014, they brought this model to LA County. And those 2 core models are still operational today. Since that time, HSUS is now, if you will, replicated this model in 38 other locales through mentorship programs. The difference between the core services and the core markets and the mentorships, the two core markets, the HSUS fully funds that. They pay for that. It's just part of their operational costs. It's part of their programming. The mentorship programs is where they are not paying for it, but communities find that funding. And then HSUS acts as an overlay, as a mentorship to that model. So that's what we are. We are the 39th location across the country. And so again, we're super excited that we're able to bring a national model here locally to Ventura County. We can go next slide. That would be great. So a little bit of a video to just give you a feel of HSUS's program.
Everybody knows. You want it. I don't care. You want to say whatever. And you're gonna get him. Vamos a llegar ahí en nuestro 15 minutos. ¿Está bien? Now we're going to fix tail fan. Todo va a ser. Okay. Trust me and trust.
In fact, we have people about it.
Almost 100% every day. Oh, yeah. I figured it's gonna be free. So really, yeah, it's gonna be free. Okay, let's go work out. Very proud of that we fix service the residents here because they do love their pets. We have people who've been in line for probably 3 hours just to get 2 vaccines. So they when you start to get inside shelter wall, bring the room for the 2 to 1. That's when we start to see 78% stay here in birth rate and our pets for life.
All we did is like one at a time. We didn't have no money. You help us in everything. And after what happened, I was like crying inside. It's great. Good. Sometimes I didn't tell you. But they used to only with me.
And this family adopted her. He saved her life.
It's cute.
I don't know if anybody else is crying. I'm crying every time I see it. Every time I see it. It is really a perfect depiction of what Pets for Life is about. This model is about going into communities that are underserved. We know how important pets are to families. We also know what the struggle is. We see it every day. We see the dogs and the cats that come to our shelter because someone can't afford to help take care of them, or they have a medical issue and they can't provide that medical care to them. And it breaks that family's heart to give up their pets. This model helps us with that. So it will help, one, it will help hopefully divert animals coming into the shelter, but it will also help people just feel a little bit of a safety net for the pets that they have in their life. And so through this program, we have hired one full-time equivalent, one full-time position to be our Pets for Life coordinator, and that is Raf Castellanos, who is here with me, and I will introduce Raf and have him come on up.
How you doing?
Raf, I will tell you, has been with the county for many years, and he transferred over to Animal Services about 3 years ago. And he has been our foster coordinator for the past many years and has been promoted to this position. And he is the ideal staff member.
Jackie,
to
you have
route
the,
this.
you have one of the targeted areas as a Colonia.
That is where we're starting.
Was
This
any specific location or building or off of? I'm on Marquita, okay. Over. Would it be Marquita where our gymnasium where the senior citizens are. Oh, excellent, excellent, and as as was mentioned, not mentioned, as we saw in the video, that those dogs are just like part of the family, which is really, really important. Yeah. Okay.
This model is really based on a targeted approach. It's a very systematic approach. We've identified, it's kind of like the concentric circles. We keep moving in. We identified if you will, the jurisdiction, and it was Oxnard. And from there, we're moving into smaller areas and targeting. We decided to start with that neighborhood to begin with. And that may mean one street.
That's right.
And we're going to be knocking on those doors. And as we help people, we will continue to expand out. HSUS actually has a terminology that they applied to this model. They say we have a proactive approach and a reactive approach. The proactive approach is RAF out there knocking on doors in these designated areas. And it might be an apartment complex, it might be a block, it might be 3 blocks, whatever that is, as we continue to work the communities. And doing that very, very proactive outreach to them. But we also recognize that somebody might live on that street and have a cousin who lives 5 blocks away who also has a need, but we're not knocking on their door right now. That person hears about this, they are able to call RAF and we can still assist them. And that's part of the reactive approach. So we'll be getting, if you will, clients that we'll be working with from both, but it really is a targeted approach. Through this, RAF right now is in the process of identifying community providers who are going to work with us, because here's a perfect example. RAF is knocking on doors and says, do you have a dog that's in need of being spayed or neutered? And they say, yes. Great. I'm going to make an appointment for you. You go, and it's free. Take your dog over there. And so
one of the things that's happened to in the past, Jackie, is there for a while, people were knocking on doors to make sure that the dog had a dog license. And how are we going to handle that?
Yeah, that is not the issue for this. We will help people get their animals licensed. Again, here's the catch about this program, and I love it. And HSUS really they have various videos that talk about it. Here's the #1 catch to this program. It's free.
Yeah.
That's the catch. You pay nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You pay nothing for it.
Correct.
We're here to help. And so, yes, we're going to come across animals who are not licensed. We're going to get them licensed. We're going to come across animals as RAF is knocking on the door and they say, we've got a dog who hurt his leg last week and he's limping. And RAF is going to say, great, let's get an appointment at the vet's office.
Great.
They're going to say, we don't have pet food. We don't have supplies. They need a crate. We're going to get it for them. That's the goal of this program, is to help people have the resources.
Councilmember Turan.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think you actually answered the question I was going to ask, is if there were targeted services that you all were going to be looking at in supporting families who were going to take advantage of this service. Off the top of my head, I'd imagine licensing, spay, neuter, vaccinations, I guess microchipping.
Yep.
Might be part of that, but it sounds like it's, as you just mentioned, all encompassing. If you need a crate, if you need assistance for food, I mean, that's great to hear. Thank you. That did answer my question.
Yeah, no, it's exactly correct. I mean, the targeted areas really are veterinary, spay, neuter, and pet supplies. Those are the targeted areas. But again, if we may come across someone who's, I'm making this up, but let's say it's a single mom who says, and I have to go in the hospital for 3 days and I don't have anyone to watch my pets. Well, we might be able to pay for some short-term boarding for them.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Right? Again, it's really a holistic approach. How do we help folks with the pets that they have? And so we're going to find out what they need. Part of it is we're making assumptions based on other models, but as we come across those needs, we're committed to working to figuring that out and how we can support. If we can go to the next page. Oh, there you go. I don't have really a next page, except to say thank you to the Ventura County Community Foundation, who is funding this project. They are really committed to wanting to help our community and our pet owners and our pets. And again, they've committed 3 years. I mean, when I wrote this, I was like, it must be at a minimum a 3-year, multi-year project. And we have verbal commitment that if we're successful, we will probably be able to get additional funding from them from at least another 2 or 3 years.
Great.
So
Thank you.
we're looking at a long-term project, and as this continues to evolve, we'll continue to figure out the sustainability of funding. So.
Good. And I want to thank, you want to share anything? And
I'm just incredibly
you
thankful.
get close to the mic.
Sorry about that.
That's it.
Hello. I'm just incredibly thankful to be a part of this program and to be able to bring it to Oxnard and to all the residents. And it really is an amazing thing to be on the ground and helping individuals one by one. And yeah, it's.
And I'm
it's
sure,
fantastic.
it's going to be in both Spanish and English.
Absolutely.
Which is really good.
Absolutely. Vamos a estar aquí para servir todos en la comunidad.
Well, you're talking almost like Mayor Pro Tem. You're doing pretty good. Thank you.
To share with you, this actually just came in today, so you'll start seeing this on our vehicle.
Oh.
driving around, so people will be able to identify
Fantastic.
in the community. RAF will be having some co-branded shirts. We have, we'll hand these out so you guys can see this. Maybe we can.
Thank you.
Informational flyers that will be going out so that the community will start to have an understanding of who we are. RAF will be really starting to dig into probably the beginning of December, starting to knock on doors. So this is brand new, but we wanted to get to you before we actually hit the ground so that you were aware of.
Jackie, we want to thank you because we continue to have partnerships with the County of Ventura, the City of Oxnard, not only with just animal services, with the airport authority, with the harbor, with other directors or agencies and departments from the county. So it's well served, and thank you for that's going to really be great for the community. Council members.
Hello, thank you for the presentation. So I'm looking at the little flyer that was just presented to us. So is it only for zip codes 93030?
We're going to be starting in zip code 93030 and gradually moving on to 3030.
So if there's anybody in 33, which is mostly South Oxnard.
We will absolutely still be helping them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Councilmember Tron.
Yes, thank you both again. And just a quick question, is that Rafa and the flyer as well?
Yes.
Very, all right, so very photogenic as well, and on all of the outreach materials. And again, thank you very much for the information on this, and I'm hoping that many of our residents will be willing to take advantage of it and utilize the services that you all are offering. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Varela.
Thank you very much. It's great to hear this collaboration and the funding from the foundation to assist you. As a former mailman, I can tell you that there's a lot of concerns about dogs that run loose and getting bit by mail, and it's continually happening. I do appreciate the photograph and the holding apparently a pit bull. Are there concerns about types of dogs that you'll be dealing with? Because when dogs are running loose, there are a lot of people who are scared to death of pit bulls, whether they have any small animals or kids walking.
Sure. Really different branch. The Pets
Okay.
for Life model is very specific to providing resources to people in the community. The loose dogs that are running, that falls under field services. And we encourage all community members to reach out to Oxnard PD. Bring those calls attention to them. The officers will take care of those. And then those dogs most often are brought to our shelter. So again, that's the field services side of the sheltering component.
Thank you very much. And the
Sure.
spaying neutering services are tremendous. A lot of people can't afford it.
Yes.
Then they have litters and they take them for a ride and drop them off. And I can take you to places in Fort Hueneme along the ocean where the cats are just tremendous amount of cats and people feed them, but spaying, neutering, if we get people to buy in, it's going to make a big difference in this county. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie and Mayor Pro Tem. We're okay. So is there a phone number that they can call you for additional information?
It is on the flyer.
You want to
On the
share that
bottom
number
flyer.
over the?
Sure, it's 805-746-7571. And
Thank you
people
so
can call or text at that number. So thank you again for the opportunity for us to come tell you about this. Hopefully, as the project moves along, we'll come back and give you some progress reports. And here's my goal, that we run out of funding and then we all have to find additional funding for the service because people want to take advantage of this. So
Thank you, Jen.
for having us tonight. And also, I just want to say, as always, thank you to all of you for your ongoing support with VCAS in general and services we
Absolutely.
provide. We appreciate the partnership.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you
a
so
great
much.
evening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mhm. Okay, so we got a couple of minutes before 6 o'clock, so. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back in session. This is a opening the ceremonial session. And we're gonna have our Mayor Pro Tem help us with salute to our flag of the United States of America.
Please place your hand over your heart and join in saluting the flag of our nation by saying, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Okay, our next item is a special presentation. And this is a presentation of proclamation designating December 1, 2022 as World AIDS Day. And we'd like to invite Mr. Salvador Fuentes. Coming up, please. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Fuentes. Welcome. And you have an assistant with you?
I do.
How are you?
This is Juan Lopez. He's
Juan
the
Lopez?
Director of HIV Center
Oh.
for Public Health.
Welcome. Okay, this is Proclamation World AIDS Day, December 1, 2022. Whereas annually, December 1st, we commemorate World AIDS Day and reflect upon the worldwide response to the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Whereas in 2022 marked 21 years since the first case of the disease known as AIDS was officially reported. Whereas we honored more than 36 million people, including 700,000 people in the United States who have died from AIDS illness globally. Whereas the US government theme, the World AIDS 2022 is putting ourselves to the test, achieving equity to end HIV, affirming the Biden-Harris administration dedication to end HIV both in the United States and around the globe. Where in 2021, HIV/AIDS Coalition for the County of Ventura launched a World AIDS Day collaborative, which includes the networks of individuals, business leaders, public health, and higher education professionals, to a nonprofit organization leading to public awareness campaign called Get22ZeroVC.org to stop the spread of HIV infection through the community through education, awareness, and action. Whereas we recognize the collaboration between the community partners, AIDS Advisory Committee of the County Board of Supervisors, the HIV Coalition of Ventura County, the Center HIV/AIDS Services for Ventura County Public Health, the California Lutheran University Sierra Heath Center for Equity and Justice, the Anheuser Association, California Central Coast Chapter, Clínicas Camino del Real, Coalition of Family Harmony, Diversity Collective of Ventura County, LGBT plus Aging Coalition, Oxnard LGBT Community Pacific Clinics, the Tate Tunnel, the Planned Parenthood of California Central Coast, Oxnard Ventura Moore Park Community Colleges, and the Quilt Project Gold Coast, who are at the forefront of fighting against the deadly disease. Okay. Now, therefore, that John C. Zaragoza, Mayor of the City of Oxnard, do hereby proclaim December 1, 2022 as Worldwide AIDS Day in the City of Oxnard, and urge all residents in the community to participate and support the Posadas in honor of World AIDS Day, scheduled Wednesday, December 1, 7 p.m. at Oxnard Historic Heritage Square. This inspiring program honors the lives and those who have lost to AIDS and serves as a community call to action to stop the spread of HIV infection. And this is signed by the Mayor of the City of Oxnard, John Zaragoza. Congratulations for that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Appreciate it. So I serve as the HIV Chair of Coalition of Ventura County. With me today is Juan Lopez. He's the HIV Director of the HIV Center for Ventura County Public Health. Next year, our coalition is going to gather to come up with a strategy for an HIV testing campaign, and we'll be launching that campaign sometime next year in the springtime of 2023. Juan, would you like to say a few words?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Just a quick update from our program. The center has been around for, I would say, over 16 years now. We recently relocated. Our office used to be right across from BCMC. Now we're here in Oxnard. So we don't only serve Oxnard, but we want to be on a centralized location. So now we have more access to East County as well. And distance wise, it works out for everyone else. Currently the center, we serve about 280 patients that are case managed. And we have 185 that we help them with benefits, anything that has to do with insurance, connecting them with a primary care provider, a specialist, and so on. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, City of Oxnard, for proclaiming December 1st as World AIDS Day. We all invite you to come out to Heritage Square on December 1st. I think it's a Thursday. I think me and Lily missed that one. So we invite all of you to attend, and we'll have some live entertainment. We'll have also local statistics of what's going on in the county, especially here in Oxnard. And Oxnard does have the largest numbers, and so we are focus driven here for Oxnard. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Fuentes, and Juan, thank you for coming over. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mayor, if I can make a comment on. the
Yes, go
presentation.
on.
If you have an opportunity to go to the event at Heritage Square, I went to one tremendous event, an opportunity to really learn something. Public can really learn something at this event.
Thank you. Our next item is item G, and this is public comments not on the agenda. And I have a couple of speakers, so we'll start off with let me see, it's Mr. Lang, followed by Elizabeth Collier.
Council, Mayor, my name is Lang Martinez. I'm a homeless advocate in Ventura County. The only reason why I come here actually is to bump up your views. It seems like every time I speak or make public comments, I usually hit the 500 mark. I'm seeing if I can hit the million, maybe we could sell commercials, and maybe a toilet paper company will pick up on it, and we can give that money to help out the homeless. You know, I was having a conversation with Yukio, the person that sits on the chair, and I said, I got 3 questions for you. The first question is, do you know the definition of homelessness? Do you know the definition of homeless? Do you know the definition of vagrant? He didn't. I also asked a question, and I'm asking you, do you by chance know the last 3 people that died in Plaza Park? They actually died in Plaza Park. Do you know their names? Do you, Mayor?
No.
I didn't think you did. You know, we have a problem here, a situation in Oxnard. Oxnard has one of the highest death rates. Once again, I'd like to say bravo to Salvation Army. I think we all should stand up and applaud for their service and the money that we pay them for their unsuccessful outreach and not being able to assess the situation and know when an individual's dying in their disease, whether it's alcoholism, cancer, or self-induced, whatever it is, to be able to report that situation and get that individual help. 3 people, we just had one recently again on the 17th, and I know you don't know their names. We have a crisis here in Oxnard with the homeless. We have more homeless here than we ever did before, but we hired 2 individuals, Alex Nugent and Emilio Ramirez. It's funny is I don't believe in coincidence. I don't know what that article means, but if we go back to 30 miles of corruption, there's paragraphs there that say exactly what's happening here. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I can't predict that, or, you know, I can have my agent or my managers. They help me predict things today. See, and I got this, what kind of disease is it? Oh, Barrett's or whatever it is. It helps me lose my mind. Prediction's this. You're going to build this $40 million shiny new penny. I was part of putting in an ordinance 2966 when I was out there helping remove the encampments at Ormond. I also worked with law enforcement in regards to safety issues when they removed those encampments. I was also involved going out there doing the assessments of Mark Alvarado in a dune buggy that you paid for. So to get back to finish this off, when they mess up everything and they leave this place in shambles, they're going to say they were service resistant. I'm sorry. They're not sorry.
Okay, our next speaker is Elizabeth Is it Golner? Golner? Okay, Elizabeth, got 3 minutes.
Hi, thank you for permitting the opportunity to speak to you about my recent experience with a group of fixie bike riders and with one of the riders in particular. I ride my bike daily in my Carriage Square neighborhood. On November 4th, I was assaulted by one of the fixie bike riders. He was part of a group of 12 that were riding on F Street near Eastwood Park. As they rode past me, he rode over to me and punched me. Fortunately, I maintained my balance on my bike. I hightailed it out of there. I was about 1,000 feet from my home, and I wasn't terribly injured. I did make a police report the following day. I know that the city is working with the fixie group to head them in the correct direction, but I'm asking you to do more and try to resolve this reckless, dangerous riding before somebody gets seriously hurt. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And I know that our police chief is working on that, so thank you for sharing that and our apologies for that.
Thank you very much for filing a police report also. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any other speakers on this item, any virtual or in the audience?
Mayor, there are no additional speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you. So then we're going to item 8. This is a report of the city manager. And Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So tonight we have one formal item. Number 1, reconsideration of local emergency due to the ongoing drought conditions. Number 2 is a misprint. We took care of this at the November 1 meeting, as I recall. So I'm going to turn it to our Public Works Director, Mr. Michael Wolf.
Michael.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council, Michael Wolf, Director of Public Works. This is a reconsideration of the drought emergency that originally occurred in May. Every 60 day or before 60 days expires, we recommending renewal of this emergency.
Okay. Any questions, council members? No. So this is, do we need a motion to adopt it?
So moved.
Okay. First by Mayor Pro Tem, second by Perrella or Basua? Basua. Roll call. Is this working now? Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, good.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, thank you. City Manager, second item.
That's it.
That's it?
No other updates. Thank you very much.
Okay, so now we go over to item I, and this is City Council, Housing Authority, Financial Director, any committee reports or any items I'd like to come out in future agendas in 3 minutes, council members. Councilor Turan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to share that I was able to attend the Fremont North Neighborhood Council meeting just last week. And I was able to present to the residents, and they had a quorum and elected a new executive board. So congratulations to their new executive board and their chair, Mr. Dave Ebbett. And my apologies for not having my notes up right here to congratulate everybody, but I was very pleased to see that folks are willing to step up and lead the neighborhood council. I did present on updates for their neighborhood and then some items that the mayor, who was unable to attend after all, did provide to me, and appreciated the opportunity to do so. I also want to update folks that the Carriage Square neighborhood, we were able to have a follow-up meeting with the principal from current school and administrative staff from the school district on some concerns that the neighborhood council brought up around the school. And it was a very productive meeting. And so I see Ms. Golner here, and she lives in the neighborhood as well. And you will be seeing some initial changes happening in the traffic control that happens over near the school. And the school has committed to working on alleviating the issues that have been kind of ongoing there. There's a lot of different strategies that were discussed, but some of the initial ones that are least intrusive are the ones they're going to try first. So you'll see new red curbs, new no parking signs, because the bus only should go here, that type of stuff. So for the Carriage Square neighborhood, I'm sure that your chair, Mr. Schulman, will be able to provide updates at your next neighborhood council meeting. He was at the meeting, was a great representative for you all. And then lastly, I do want to remind folks that if you live in District 6, there is a special election coming up in March, and this council voted to hold a special election. And I believe the nomination period opened just yesterday. Is that correct for our city council or our city clerk staff? City's website to find the information about how to pull papers to run for that office if you live in District 6 and are eligible to do so. And those are my updates, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Basua.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to take this opportunity and wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, coming up. Thank you. Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem.
Hey, Mr. Mayor. Seabridge residents, Silver Strand residents. I'm wondering perhaps the chief can bring us a
This
briefing
information.
sometime in the near future on to what the state of that whole issue is.
They should be agendized because I think we've heard is as chief, okay, for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilor Perrella.
Thank you very much. I want to also wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving coming up. I just like to make a comment. Not all bike riders are bad characters, but just like in any organization, there's always a couple of bad apples. I'm very grateful to the lady for making a police report. When things happen, you see something, you got to say something. I'd like to comment that the city hall is looking pretty sharp with the recent work on it. I'd like to thank the residents that placed themselves in candidacy for the various elected positions. Not all of them are resolved yet. I have very strong interest in one particular one for a water district, and I'm hoping he pulls it out. With respect to the issues that Councilman Turan addressed, I'd like to state that the Rio del Norte school in the South Bank neighborhood, the parents do not seem to pay much attention to red painted curbs. And at drop off and pickup times, cars are left painted, parked against the red painted curbs. Some even double park, get out of the car, and then stand in front of the school waiting for the preschool kids to be released. I know that they want the protection for their kids, but you're putting other people at risk. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you. And I just like to, we just had an election, and I just want to congratulate all the individuals that really went out to apply to be council members and to put their names out for recognition. But again, I just want to thank Councilman Perrella, Gabby Basua, and Gabe Turan for getting reelected again to the Oxnard City Council. And just I want to share that I believe, and I keep saying it over and over again, that we have probably the best city council that I've ever served with, and probably the best city council in the whole county of Ventura. And the reason I'm saying is because people still believe in us. People went ahead and reelected our current city council members. So to me, that means that the residents have confidence in what we're doing. So I just want to commend all those individuals that really went out and campaign. And I know it's a lot of work. I've done that several times, but again, thank you to the council members and congratulations. And thank you for the residents of Oxnard for supporting us. Also want to thank the Veterans Committee. We had a really excellent celebration the other day here at Plaza Park to thank our veterans. We had nearly 400 people that attended that day, which is really fantastic when we have our veterans, that we have here in Oxnard, throughout the country for that matter. And I just want to thank our city employees again. We had Martha Guillen and Luli Lopez, working at getting up early in the morning and putting up the flags and putting up chairs and making sure there was food, working with the Salvation Army, working with many individuals that really helped us out. So I just want to thank him for that. And additionally, I want to thank our Public Works Department for painting our city hall here. The city hall is really, really looking great. I want to thank Tatiana and of course, Michael Wolf and all the Public Works department for starting to paint our buildings. They're looking great. In fact, I happened to bring my wife over to look at it. And she said she loved it, but it looks so clean. And then she said, John, when are we going to paint our own house? So see, now I'm in trouble. I'm not going to paint my own house. So, but I think it's important that this is the interest of downtown and we're the ones that are sharing with people that we need to clean our city. We need to clean our parks, our streets and so forth. So now we're actually being the role models, for painting our buildings here. So I just want to thank our staff for doing an excellent job and sprucing up, City Hall and eventually the annex building across the street. And also, lastly, I just want to thank again, Martha and Luli. Again, because of that day I couldn't make it, I had to come up with a personal item that I had to take care of business. So they went over and presented a accommodation to Casa de Vida. This individuals that work with Michael and also Marvin Booz on cleaning our cities, and they got graduation ceremonies, and Martha and Luli went out there representing the city of Oxnard, which I want to commend them for that. So again, I want to thank all our city employees for all the good work that they're doing. I think we have the best police department, the best fire department, public works department, and even our legal department can. And of course, our city manager has doing an excellent job for us. I just wanted to commend all us for doing that. Thank you. Our next item then is item J. This is a review of the consent items, and we have 7 items. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers on this item, either virtually or in?
Mayor Zaragoza, we do not have any virtual speakers or in person at this time.
Thank you. Okay, council members, we have 1 through 7 items. Any concerns or questions on this items of consent? If not, I'm looking for a motion to approve all 7 items. Motion by Councilman Basua, second by Councilman Perrello. Roll call, or we go ahead and vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is, this is reports. Public Works Department is approving the purchase order of WEX Bank for the fleet of fuel cards. And let me get here. And the recommendation is the City Council approve and authorize the purchasing agent to execute a purchase order of WEX Bank in an amount of not to exceed $8.8 million for a 2-year item for fuel cards. And this is was passed by the Public Works Department to 0, and it was a video under Measure M pre-recorded. Do we have any questions of Michael Wolf, council members? No items. Okay, motion.
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you so much, Madam Clerk. Got a first by Councilman Basua, second by Councilman Turan. Please vote.
Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Our next item is item number 2, Public Works Department Agreement A8505 with Toro Enterprises Incorporated for the Ventura Boulevard Sidewalk Improvement Project, specification number PW 1848. And the recommendations of City Council approve and authorize the following for a total of $2,960,510 in project funds for the Ventura Boulevard Sidewalk Improvement Project, specification number PW 18-48, number 133107. And number 1 is that the mayor execute an agreement with Toro Enterprises Incorporated for the amount of $2,467,092 for the project. And 2, a project contingency of $246,709 for the project. And three, that the project allocation amount of $246,709 for engineering, inspection, survey, and project management. And four, budget appropriation of $66,655 from TDA/LTF3. And this is bicycle/ped fund 214, and budget reallocation of $144,736 within the air pollution buy down fee fund of 118, and $139,864 within the TDA/LTF8 CIP fund 212 for $359,416 within the general fund capital outlay fund 301 for the project. And of course, this item was categorically exempt from the California Exempt Quality Act pursuant to 14 CCR 15304F. And of course, this did not originate in committee. Any questions, council members, on this item? We have Mr. Wolf. Okay, so we have Mayor Pro Tem. Oh. Okay, Council Perrello.
I'm just wondering, I know that we have Measure M and we're not able to show a lot of things, but if possible, the map showing where the work would be done, could that be, that single slide, could it be put up? I should have asked this in advance and I didn't.
Is that from Vineyard all the way to?
Okay. I would just like to state
to Rose.
The El Rio community oftentimes feels left out. And they are part of El Rio community is in the city of Oxnard. This is an improvement on the area that has been approved I believe it's decades ago. And I do appreciate our city engineer responding to my questions, and I forgot to ask the one about the map. Ms. Arnott, I apologize tremendously on that. The issue with respect to improvement of the drainage, the improvement of the safety for the people walking, and taking care of a commitment that the city made a long time ago. Can you just enlighten a little bit of what we're doing?
Absolutely, Councilman Perrello. This is Tatiana Arno. I am your city engineer. So as far as the drainage improvements go, there are no storm drain catch basins or pipe through that section of the road from Alvarado to the bend there where we're ending our project. And so what we're doing with this project is we're adding catch basins to address some of the drainage issues that have been noticed there. And it's going to be then tying into the existing system at the intersection of Alvarado and Ventura Boulevard. So that's that. And then we do have sidewalk that fronts those furniture stores that are to the west of the mobile home park there, Royal Dukes Estates. And so we're going to be adding a sidewalk that attaches to that's there all the way to the corner, to the bend where there is another sidewalk already. So we're basically bridging this gap, if you will. This will also help with, there's a bus stop there, believe it or not. So now people will actually have somewhere proper to wait for their bus to come in front of the mobile home park.
Okay.
And can you give us a little time? This was committed quite some time ago, but the city didn't get around to it. Is there a time frame you can add to that?
In part, as far as the improvements and when they're starting?
No, as when the initially was supposed to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a project that's been around for almost a decade. And so we have been working obviously towards getting this done. This predates a lot of the existing staff and we have a backlog of projects. So here we are finally getting to the point where we're making these improvements, thankfully.
Those are my questions. Thank you very much. Thank you for getting back to me. And again, I apologize I didn't ask for that, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem,
it's going to be a big improvement.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank Public Works for moving forward on this sidewalk project. You wouldn't think the sidewalks would attract a lot of attention, but there happened to be a post on social media last week where, or actually early this week, where a person said, I went on the 311 app and reported my sidewalk had buckled and was cracked. And she said Monday they were out here fixing it within less than a week. And she just couldn't speak highly enough of the city or Public Works folks or whoever did it. So to the Public Works crew, thank you so much. It was phenomenal. So good press coverage.
Councilman Toronto, thank you.
Thank you. Actually, Councilmember Perrello did ask a couple of questions I was going to ask around just kind of summarizing the project for folks who don't have context because Measure M prohibits them from seeing the video. One thing I can do is I have on my laptop here. I don't know if Diego can zoom in on this, but I do have the map up here. I don't know how clear it's going to be on this, if you can zoom in on that.
But that runs
Right.
from
It's in Ventura Boulevard. Here we
Vineyard
go.
to Rose, right?
I'm trying to level myself here. All right. Here we go. So there you can see along Ventura Boulevard there, folks. And maybe Tatiana could just remind folks about what stretch of Ventura Boulevard we're talking here.
Yes, so it starts on the west end at Alvarado, and then it runs east to where Ventura Boulevard bends, essentially,
Okay.
before Rose. So we don't get all the way to Rose. There is a sidewalk already leading up to Rose, but we are basically joining the existing sidewalk on that side.
Actually, let's see here. There we go.
Okay.
So there
Hey,
you
we
can see
see
that. And I appreciate you being willing to do that. Extreme zoom on me now. Okay, so this is been in the works for almost a decade, as you had mentioned, and I appreciate it coming forward. I also understand there were some Edison delays that were coming up as far as work they had to do, which was delaying our work. Is that correct?
That's correct. So it actually took us about 2.5 years. So from when the existing staff took on this project to then get Edison to move their poles out of the way, so then we can come in and do the work that we needed to do. That's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I will say, I thought, Councilor Perillo, his question was right on about giving context and showing the public where that was. Again, Measure M prohibits the public from seeing things live. And if I violated Measure M, I know the police officers are right outside. I'll turn myself in if I need to. For the proponents of Measure M, I'm willing to do that. So thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Ms. Arno, and thank you, Mr. Wolf.
Excuse me, the question I have was, there's an area there for the mobile home people where they park their cars. It's a dirt area. Are we going to eliminate some of that parking, or are we going to work with the mobile home folks to accommodate them for the additional or lack of parking? Or can you share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we have been, and in fact, I was involved in some of those meetings with the mobile home folks regarding their parking. So on the west side of their driveway entrance, they're going to maintain the majority of that parking. So we are facilitating it by adding a driveway on the westernmost edge so that it will be one way, but they will have a way to get on and then be able to exit as well so that they can continue parking. That's about 48 stalls. There are about 12 stalls on the eastern side of their driveway entrance that will be eliminated in their entirety to accommodate for the sidewalk. So they will be losing some spots, but we did our best to try to help maintain the spot that they do have there today.
And that's going to be great when it rains. We hadn't rained for a long time, but when it rained, it got pretty muddy there.
So it will continue to get muddy there because the parking stalls are actually on private property, which we are not improving on. We're only improving areas within the public right of way.
So who owns the rest of the property there?
The mobile home park.
So potentially maybe in the future they could kind of pave that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you for that. Okay. So what's the pleasure of the board?
Mayor Zaragoza, there are no speakers virtually or in person for this item.
Thank you for keeping me straight there.
I'll
Okay.
move the recommended action. It's a tremendous project and it's going to benefit the
Thank you.
community.
I'll second.
Second, okay. First by Council Pereira, second by Tehran. Please vote.
Thank you. Motion passes 5-0.
And we have, before we adjourn, because this is actually fantastic time, but Council Basu wants to share some additional information from South Oxnard.
Yes, Brian Yanes, who's in the audience today, he's not in trouble. We had a complaint about a lot of mattresses, and I was trying to be as techie as Council Member Tehran and pull up and pull up all the mattresses that got cleaned up. So I want to really thank you and your staff, and along with the mayor for being so proactive in getting that cleaned up.
Thank you. And Brian, we actually worked with the Wainimi for that, and they had mattresses like you wouldn't believe, from all the way from PV to Rose Road, right along the railroad. And thank you, Brian, for the good work that you did. And like the Basua says, Council Basua says, thank you so much. And I'm sure that the neighborhood there is very, very happy. And I want to thank Marvin Booz and Michael McCreary, because they're the ones that discovered it. So But thank you again, Brian. Again, our city employees doing a good job. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, I just want to say, before you all get ready for Thanksgiving, we actually have a very full night next Tuesday of committee meetings.
That's right. And happy Thanksgiving as it comes. Thank you so much. So we are adjourned. Thank you. Good job. Mhm.